sort of like a wedding reception, only it wasn't, but you get the idea. We were in a large, beautiful hall with people we loved, and the music was coming on, and the setting, the ambiance was perfect, and a friend of mine sitting at the table with me looked like something came over her face. And I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yes, I am okay." And I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "It's kind of hard to describe. I just got caught up in the moment." And I said, "What do you mean?" It's like, she explained to me, a little twinge of emotion in her heart. It was like so beautiful, the music was so perfect, the setting was so right that for an instant, she felt like a longing, or a beauty, or something like that. Have you ever had that happen to you? Like for me, there are times where it's a particular phrase in a song, or a particular change, or it happens in music, where the music sort of stirs your soul, but you don't really know why, and you don't really know what's going on. Does anybody here know what I'm talking about? If you do, just let me know. Okay, all right, a lot of hands, all right. So what's that all about? Like, why do we have those experiences? Or how about this? Have you ever longed for something, but you didn't exactly know exactly what you wanted? Like I can remember being in high school, and I wanted to be really good at something. But I didn't know which of the things I was doing I could be really good at. But I just wanted to be good at something. What's going on with that? Why? Or how about this one? Have you ever worked really hard, achieved a goal, and then once you did, it didn't quite feel as satisfying as you thought it would feel? Like, I've experienced this firsthand through a friend of mine. I grew up with a guy who his whole life wanted to make Hollywood movies. And would you believe he did it? And it wasn't just like a minor, obscure movie. I mean, it wasn't a blockbuster. But it had 2 A-list stars in it. Both of them are older. It was an older film. This is maybe 10 years ago. Bill Murray was in it, an old comedian. Robert Duvall, or as he would call him, Bobby Duvall. So he made this movie, and he called me and said, I'd like to fly you and Marty out to Hollywood for the premiere. And so we're like, seriously? Yeah, show up at the Elkhart Airport at noon on Saturday, and you'll get on a plane, it's my Citation 10 private jet. And we did. 4 hours later, we were on his balcony in Malibu. It was so fast, so cool. And we spent a couple of days hobnobbing with people, sitting at restaurants with this guy who I didn't know, but Marty tells me his name is Nicolas Cage. It all built up to this premiere that we were attending. So we go to the theater in Hollywood, something of filmmaking and arts and science. It's where the Academy Awards started. It's this theater. And we literally had the red carpet experience with paparazzi, drove up in a limo, got out on the red carpet, and what they do is they take a picture of everyone and then they figure out who you are later. So I was sitting there getting out thinking you were going to be so disappointed when we see I'm nobody. I'm just the guy who made the movie. And we went to it and we sat in the theater and it was star-studded. There were people like Jimmy Kimmel sat behind me. There were people all over the place. And the movie comes and it builds up, and then at the end, the credits run, and everybody stays, and they clap and they cheer. And then we go to this reception, and everybody's jockeying around and talking, and after about 30 minutes, the whole place clears out. So we get back in the car, we go back to his house, and it was so disappointing. It was like, seriously? I thought I would feel different. But we were trying to be good sports, be kind of up and everything, and we go back and we look at our friend, and he's like, now what do we do? You want a pizza? And we channel surfed and went to bed. Why does even achieving some of our highest goals not completely fulfill us? I'm not trying to discourage you from having goals and achieving them. I'm just asking, why don't they do always what we think they're going to do? Or here's another experience. Have you ever been lonely? Have you ever been lonely? Where you want friends, or you want to be seen, or you want to be understood, and you're not? What's going on with that? All right. These questions, these things are not new to us in 2022 at Marian High School. These are perennial human experiences. If you look back at different times, different cultures, different places, the questions are always, who am I? Why am I here? Where have I come from? Where am I going? What could I do with my life in the future that might be fulfilling? Why is there suffering? Why do people have to die? And what happens to us when we do? These questions are the most important questions. And that's what education is all about. Why is Marian High School here? To help you answer these questions. Yes, you can prepare for a career. Yes, you can try to get into the college of your choice. Support yourself as an adult. Hang out with friends, play sports and activities. That's all good. But what really matters to each person here is to find those answers for yourself. So I challenge you to reframe what goes on here at Marian High School every day. Don't think of it as fulfilling a bunch of requirements. I gotta take this, I gotta do this. Look at it as a great adventure, a search for meaning, something. So when you're looking for these answers, Mr. Kerziger in his prayer talked about 3 things. And I think he didn't know I was going to say this. But I think that if you look for these 3 things, a lot of the answers, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them will come naturally. Search for truth. Search for goodness. Search for beauty. Let me take the most unlikely subject that you would think I would talk about when it comes to truth, goodness, and beauty. Mathematics. You're like, what could truth, goodness, and beauty possibly have to do with math? Well, think about this. What does math teach you? Much of reality is objective. Math doesn't care how you feel about it. It's true whether you feel good about it or not. And you know what else it tells you? That there are invisible laws that govern the universe. And they're there. And math just describes them and teaches them to you. Math is like an insight into metaphysics. Goodness, isn't it great that 2 plus 2 equals 4 every time? Do you know how horrible the world would be if every day 2 plus 2 equals something different? Like, it's so good that 2 plus 2 always equals 4. And beauty. How about this? Have you ever balanced an equation and solved for x? And when you do, don't you feel good? Like there's something beautiful about solving for x. But can you see it? Are you even open to it? You can go through and you can look at science in the same way. You can look at the other hard subjects. But then you can look at your other subjects, which in college campuses are called arts and letters. I'm talking about English, or literature, poetry. Look at the ways that these things can teach you the answers to your questions. Finally, in this side of things, you're not searching so much for physical facts as you're searching for meaning. So my challenge to you today, reframe the way you think about school and your approach to life. Everything is an opportunity to answer these questions for yourself. In Catholic schools, we also study theology. And theology is an attempt to address all these concerns. It doesn't mean you take a class and you walk away and you're like, oh, okay, it's all done. It's a lifelong quest. But it's there for the taking. So look everywhere. And more specifically, take a good hard look at a certain historical figure who knew you were searching and called himself the way, the truth, and the life. When his first followers had the same questions you do, he told them, it's a good thing I'm almost done.
If you seek, you will find. Don't worry about it. If you knock, the door will be opened. And 2,000 years later, we're still discussing his answers. Good luck on your journey. I hope you find your answers. Thank you.